Welcome to WooTube. My name is Baran Woo, and today we're going to be looking at Ad Blitz. This video is actually split into two parts. We're going to look at the deck as I first had built it, and then halfway through we're going to see the changes which I made after playing several games with it. So it's quite an interesting look into the deck building process which I go through. So here's the deck list. This is a deck that plays out of Near Earth Hub, and it plays in two or maybe three phases. So to start off with, we're going to be spamming out a whole load of assets, in particular advertisements. So we've got about as many advertisements which were worth cramming in that we can. So we are playing some unusual things like launch campaign and tiered subscription, just so that we have as many ads as possible. And then we're going to lead up to a combo turn where preferably we play a biotic labour and follow it up with a mutually assured destruction. We're going to trash as much of our board as we can, especially anything that is an advertisement, and give the runner a whole load of tags. If we played a biotic labour first, then we'll have a click left after that, and with that we're going to play market forces to drain all of runner's money and to make us quite rich in the process. So then the runner's paw has a load of tags, but we have no board state. But that's absolutely fine, because we're going to play an Ad Blitz and pull everything back onto the board again. This also gives us the opportunity to play a second mutually assured destruction turn, and also gives us the chance to put a whole load of adverts back out the turn before we mutually assured destruction, to give us extra targets for tags. So how do we convert those tags into win? Unfortunately, we don't have the influence for boom or anything along those lines, but we do have 3 copies of Freedom of Information, which at that point is probably going to be a 0-2, so we can score this out by simply installing it. We also have a Psychographics, which means that we can score out a Big Deal, or score Bolognas from hand, things along those lines. Finally, we have a little bit of ice, just to particularly protect centrals. It's all very cheap and kind of insta-res stuff. That's why we're playing Authenticator over something like Funhouse, because we want to be able to res as much stuff as possible for as cheap as possible, so that we have more mutually assured destruction targets. You may ask why I'm not playing this out of Spark, and I tried it in Spark, and it turns out that the Spark ability is just not quite strong enough, and that the added speed that Near Earth Hub gives, particularly after the combo turn, is far more beneficial to us converting the tags into a win. So that's the deck list. Let's jump into some games. Okay, so we are playing against Smoke. This is a bad opening hand, so we're going to mulligan. Good luck, have fun. This is much better. We'd probably drudge away this Freedom of Information, I think. Let's put down a Marilyn, see what we draw. Oof. Fine, and then we'll just get rid of the Freedom of Information for now. This does, well, I guess it leaves a 1 in 4 in hand instead of a 2 in 4. They gamble and diesel. So I don't have a massive plan against Shapers with misdirection here. So we'll see how this goes. They're getting rid of the Drudge Work, which I think is a pretty decent idea. I maybe shouldn't have resed it so that I could Res it next turn. Get rid of the Beal as well. Oh, and the freedom of information's back. Marvellous. Right, let's put out a Spin Doctor. I think we've res Spin Doctor. We'll put down a launch campaign, and then we'll take a credit. We'll throw out the freedom of information, and then we'll pull back the drudge work and the freedom of information if they run here. They're going to get a DJ Steve out really early. So this IP block probably has to go on HQ. There's a 1 in 5 for them to hit a Beal here. We'll give them a gamble. They see a mad. So unfortunately that means they might start going and trashing our stuff. Okay, they check R&D. And they played a gamble. We'll res this launch campaign, which we really want to protect. Excellent. Okay, we do have a piece of ice. What are they better at breaking? I think this is like 3 credits for them to break with Penrose. This is 3 credits for them to break with either Cleaver or Paperclip. Are we really going to put something down last click drawing? Yeah, we're going to play that very badly. We draw another IP block, which we'd probably put in front of this launch campaign. We'll res here. They might get a Penrose, or they might just get, yeah, so they're on Cleaver. Which means they're probably on Turbine, or something along those lines, which is potentially an issue, because they'll eventually break this IP block for 1 credit. There's a 1 in 4 here, they're going to get a diesel back. They see a market forces. And they get down an Anycam. Don't really want to gaslight for anything. We'll just draw. Bologna is not great. I might just try and sneak out Beal here. Put that in a new remote. We'll put that in a new remote, and then we'll protect. I kind of want to double protect HQ, but that feels very risky. The minute they have a turbine down. It's pretty bad. But I kind of think we might score this Beal here. They're not really contesting our board. Are they going to hit the Beal? Of course they are. Of course they are. Sure. Okay, we'll Respag campaign. We don't want to gaslight for anything yet. Or do we? No, both of these are going to go away, unfortunately, the advertisements. Otherwise, it would almost be worth considering. We'll shuffle these back in. Let's draw a card. No, we can't hard hit and use them. Let's draw a card. And I think we put the turnpike over HQ. Okay, turnpike on HQ feels pretty bad immediately. I guess it's 2 credits. 2 stealth. Ooh, getting the whole rig down. I think I read here just so that I have. I don't like. I want them to use their money so that they can't necessarily trash whatever they run into as well. I guess I have 3 credits. I can trash pretty much everything. Drawing them, maybe just being aware of snares, possibly. Oh, they stole a beal. Oh shit. Um. Okay. We could only drain them for a few. It's not looking great. I think I'm gonna spin back the drudge because I'd really like to draw into drudge work. Not perfect. Another spin. I might just put this on R&D, take a credit. Because I'd like to get it rezzed. The more stuff I have rezzed, and ice is always the tricky thing to force it to be rezzed. Network error is an issue. They're getting rid of this tiered subscription, which because they know we're on mutually assured destruction. So now we need to find an Ad Blitz, because then, oh no, we've only got 2. It's not that great. Okay. Let's find some stuff to spam out. That's something to spam out. I think I'm going to put this in server 4 remote. Again, if I can force a red on the ice, even though they break it cheaply. Um, yeah, but res. I have a funny feeling that they're probably going to grab a misdirection here. Probably should be on at least 1 best defense. Don't think they're going to have the credits to trash this, which is good. Oh, no, they're going to take 4 credits, aren't they? So I think I hard-hitting news them here. Um, and we see if they've got access to misdirection. Okay, they play peace. They clear 3. So they didn't find a misdirection that time. Do we mutually assure destruction on this turn? I don't think we've got the money for it. We'll res this. We'll res this. I might spin Doctor now. I might just res it now. I want the draw. We'll take the Drudge Work and the Ad Blitz for sure. We've got one Ad Blitz here, so we'll put the Marilyn in the new remote. I think I'm going to put the tier subscription in a new remote. And we'll put the Drudge Work out now. So I'm going to have to zoom out. Sorry for everyone viewing on anything small. We're going to res the tier subscription. Okay. They are trashing the tier subscription. That's pretty good for us, to be fair. One of the easiest things for us to get back with an Ad Blitz. We can Ad Blitz for 3 things now. Doesn't feel great. Just think that I haven't got long before we lose. I haven't got long before they find their misdirection. So do we Gaslight for the Biotic now and pop off? I can trash a fair few. 4, 8. I think we probably pop off at this point. Maybe I think I might Ad Blitz some stuff back first. Let's put these aside. So we're going to res this, put that away, and then we're going to Ad Blitz out 1, 2, 3 things. That's actually excellent. Finding the freedom of information. So essentially our plan versus misdirection is to make sure that they have 0 money to use misdirection. Now they'll always have a credit on Mantle. They haven't got anything stored on Networker yet, which is good for us. I don't know why they haven't got anything stored on Networker. They're running here, so we will. Whereas there's a tiny bit of me that wants them to have a little bit more money. Um, so that we have more with market forces, which is hilarious. Let's reset Mike. I think we just res anyway. It gives us another thing to potentially trash. We just don't want them to find the freedom of information here. Okay. Don't find freedom of information. You can have a gamble. Oh my gosh! Just rip them off the top, why don't you? Sure thing. At least we get to drain a bit more money of this. Right, so here we're going to gaslight. We'll do the gaslight first. Yes, get a biotic labor. So here we want the freedom of information. So we'll go this. We're going to sell both of these. This one, that's 4 tags. This is 5 tags. This is 6 tags. I might sell the IP block on R&D. 7 tags. I kind of want to keep the daily business shows. I could sell the drudge work actually, I guess. 7 tags. 8 tags. Done. Yes. And then we'll market forces them. Okay. So we now just have to convert that into a win. We have 1 winning piece in hand. If we're incredibly lucky, we just draw into another one. They have 8 tags and 0 credits. 1 credit on smoke, 1 credit on net Mercur, 1 credit on mantle. Ironically, they can get into HQ. We'll res a resistor. Which is actually like quite a bit. So we only have to boost by 2 here, or 3, I guess. They can use this net Mercur credit, which I think we will do. I mean, if they run HQ, we actually lose. uh, 50-50, we lose. Um, what do we want here? I think we want the market forces. Right, we just want to draw into. Right, we'll score that. Um, we'll draw one in case we draw another. We do draw another. Just good. Okay, I was going to trash Venom my curve there, but the chance of drawing into another freedom was a bit too juicy. I need big draw for I need to find a psychographics now. I think we're going to put the biotic back in. Potentially represents another win con. And I probably have to play this market forces just to keep them poor. But let's put back in the biotic and maybe the IP block actually. No, we put back in a gaslight, obviously. Silly. Don't be silly. What do we have here? I think we keep a biotic. Let's put this in a new remote. We'll res it. We'll put the gaslight in a new remote and we'll trash venom occur. I do have 5 clicks. Maybe I probably should have trashed the Beth. They're still not showing a misdirection. They might not be on misdirection, which is like kind of wild. But there we go. Resistor, pretty good right now. Diesel, looking for their misdirection. I was wondering when that would show up. Right, we get to fire off this gaslight. Yes, so we'll find psychographics. There we go. Oh, oh, we drew another Bologna. Lovely. Okay. So deck did its thing. We managed to win. They didn't find their misdirection, which is probably a big part of it. But all good. Let's move on to the next game. Okay, so The deck's working, but it does have a few issues, and so I put together a different version, which I feel like has a few more answers to the problems which the last one was throwing up. So here's the new version of the deck, and the first most relevant change is obviously that this deck is running Boom. 2 copies, as it is trashable. We want to have one in hand, preferably after the turn after we hit the mutually assured destruction, or can pull them with Gaslight, or can draw into one somehow. So we're playing 2 copies as a kind of safety measure there. This is a much more reliable win con than trying to sort of psychographics and freedom of information our way to a points win, and it has just been far more reliable. A few more changes on the operation front. Firstly, we have 2 copies of Attitude Adjustment. We're having some pretty big issues with flooding up, as we don't really want to score any agendas early. And Spin Doctors can help with that, but we also need those Spin Doctors for recursion, particularly now we're playing Boom, which is a trashable card, and potentially to get some of our kind of bits of tech and our tag punishment back into our hand if we've had to draw through them for any reason. This was 3 copies at one point, but it's down to 2, but I think this has been a really good change. We are playing 1 copy of Best Defense. The deck dies quite hard to a few certain bits of tech, and a lot of them are dealt with by Best Defense. So we struggle with Misdirection. Best Defense doesn't completely solve Misdirection, because often Shapers are playing a Symbol 222, but it can help. And our kind of main plan against Misdirection is to take away all of their money so that they don't have enough money to Misdirection the next turn. This also deals with no free lunch, which isn't particularly good tech against the deck. It will only get rid of 1 tag, but I've also been running into No One Home as a tech card at the moment, and No One Home is real struggle for this deck to deal with. I had to think about 30 credits into 2 traces with a hard-hitting news the other day just to clear the 2 No One Homes, not even landing the tags, just so that I had the option to mutually assured destruction a turn or 2 later. So tricky, but Best Defense gets rid of that as well. It's also sort of extra tag punishment when they've got lots of tags. You can sometimes have as much as up to 8, and then you can Best Defense a boat, which is always fun. With all this extra tech, we have had to drop down to just 1 copy of Ad Blitz, which is Sad Blitz, but as it's kind of cornerstone of the deck idea, but it's still in there and it's still really good, especially against corpse runners, which think that they can kind of stop us just by trashing our whole board, and then we just bring it all back again. A little bit of change to the ice. The authenticators are out and we have white spaces in their place. I found that the deck struggled on those last few turns where the runners are just tagged, when they can just run through half of your ice, your turnpikes, your authenticators didn't do anything. And actually at those times I usually wanted a resistor more than anything else, because resistor is low-key really good at that point in the game. But I wanted a code gate of some kind, and shout out to Lost Geek for the recommendation here. He suggested white spaces, and I think they've worked really well. Cheap enough to res early, and they are an end the run if we have taken all of the runners' money away with market forces. Finally, a little bit of change to the agendas. In the last version, I was actually playing 21 points, but mainly because I wanted to just score 3 agendas, and so I wanted to potentially have a Bologna on hand to psychographics it if needed. But now we're kind of on this slightly more boom heavy plan, then we've dropped 1 Bologna for tomorrow's headline. Other than that, I think the deck's pretty much the same. The asset suite is pretty much the same. I think we're playing 1 more launch campaign than the previous version. And we're just playing 1 copy of Hard Hitting News, which I found has been absolutely enough with the free gaslights. It's not super relevant in most matchups, but sometimes it's just really good for firing off early just to slow the runner down so that we can set up our board state uh, into a fairly dominant fashion. And so that's the new deck, the new version. I think we'll jump in and see a couple of games with it. Okay, so we have a game with the slightly um, meaner, maybe, version of the Mad Blitz deck. We're playing Booms in this one. We're against Sable, and I think we might just put out 3 cards. We can duck a Siphon. I would like to keep her off centrals, but I think this is fine. It's slightly less fine now, but there we go. That's what we're going to go for. Okay, they get an R&D mark, which is okay. Next time we're probably going to ice up both the central or the R&D and HQ. I kept the hand because we had 2 pieces of ice, which felt pretty decent. We've got a Cat's Cradle, we've got a Chevra down. We're going to res all of our assets. Straight back to 5. They've seen a Market Forces, so they know some shenanigans is up. We'll put out this Spin Doctor. This is a new card which I've put in, and it's a bit of a shame here, as Cat's Cradle is with Chevra is gonna get through this free. I do kind of want to put the Turnpike in front of the IP block so they can't just use the Chevra credits, but I don't think that's an option right now. So we're going to do the IP block here. Maybe I do just do the white space. No, I'm going to keep the white space potentially for a remote. In fact, I might put it in front of the launch. Well, I don't have enough clicks to put it in front of the launch campaign. That would have actually been probably sensible. Okay, this could be an error. Yeah, no worries. That makes a lot more sense. This is going to fire. They don't have a credit to lose, which is a shame. They're going to get their click back and some money. When I say some money, loads of money, because of bravado. They clear the tag, draw a card. So far, so normal. Put down a Tapworm. Do we care about that yet? Probably. Let's see what we draw. They've seen the psychographics. I think we probably just purge here before it becomes an issue. Okay, they're drawing up. They're running archives. I'm going to assume to just put down another Tapworm. Oh, no. Okay, so a mutual favour out of Pagolta. Actually leaves them like open to hard-hitting news. This would making the run and then using the install is just the same as just clicking it and installing it normal. Okay, let's put this Gaslight out. See what you draw. We draw a DBS. That's quite nice. We'll put a new remote. And then what do we want to protect here? Both of these are very protectable. I think we're going to protect the Gaslight with them at this sort of credit total. They're rolling up. They're getting their engine going. making a run here. We're going to res this IP block and unfortunately break it for mostly free. What we might do, there is one agenda in there, so what I'm going to do is res the DBS. We'll res a spin doctor. We'll shuffle away the Beal. Just to protect this freedom of information a little bit. They're just going to use Chevra credits here. Chesvy. My pronunciation is pretty bad. They see the market forces, which they already knew. So we could land a hard-hitting news here, which would slow them down. And I'd need to pull it with this gaslight. I think it might be worth it. We'll take the tiered subscriptions. So we'll put that one of those out. We'll put a ad campaign out, and then we'll hit them with the news. They can clear this, but it's going to slow them down enough to let us get some tempo up and running. It also stops them running through HQ with without finding a break of this turn. Just check. You are still tagged. IP blocks. Second sub will fire. All good. You can undo. Okay, so yeah, so very clear. It's absolutely fine. We found a boom, which we don't really want yet. We do want the DBS, so we're gonna put a tiered subscription. We've drawn another boom. We will. I don't think I need to protect a DBS yet, so I'm just going to put it out. I think I put a second ice on HQ, and it's probably going to be this IP block. I'm going to res this now so I don't forget, because I have a habit of doing that. This just stops too many easy diversion of funds swings.
What's that face?
I'm just recording, so it's recording you right now. I can edit it out. Don't worry.
Okay.
No.
Nice.
Oh, right, maybe. What do you want to do? Okay, I'll sort it in a second. I'll do it. Okay, so they are on a Virtuoso build. They throw out a Career Fair, which means they've got no good targets for that right now, and a Caldera, which makes sense. We are not actually going to res this DBS yet because we're not quite rich enough to. Here I'm just going to install the launch behind the ice and gain 2. Next time we can press for second DBS. They have an archives mark. They probably, well, they've already used 2 dirty laundries, so they're probably not getting a huge amount of value off of that. Oh, Carpe Diem is a way of getting value off of that, I guess. Okay, and they're back in the money. We can res this second DBS now. Okay. Going into agendas, but that's fine. We'll put pack campaign out. TID subscription. And have they thrown out a turtle? I missed that. I might just take a credit here. I'm tempted to draw. I'm going to draw. Okay. Attitude adjustment is actually pretty fine. Oh, I need to res this TID subscription. Oh yes, by running last turn they gave us TS credits, which is nice. They're on DZMZ. They get down a Chesvi for very little money. That's interesting. But I guess they're quite program. They may be quite program heavy. Nothing else we want to do here. Okay. Do we want to start accumulating combo pieces? I think we probably do. So I think I need to take the biotic here as much as I want the Marilyn. I definitely don't need the best defense right now. So if I find a gaslight, then I'm also pretty good here. So let's, I think we're gonna attitude adjustment. We found a gaslight. Now, I really want to put this behind this piece of ice. But I think then they go and get it, so I think we put it out naked. And we draw a Beal. Also tempted to put that out naked, because there's a chance that we can get a big old Psycho Beal here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're like 2 short of getting the full Beal experience, tempting as it is. I think that's fine. We'll just take a credit. I would have liked to protect this gaslight quite a lot. Okay, we've got our bones, which is problematic. Let's see what they go for here. They're going for the money. They probably take out all 3 of these, I would imagine. I think the DBSs would be the best thing to get rid of here, as I already have quite a lot of money, but maybe they are sort of saving up doofs here. Right, if I get mutually assured destruction now, we have potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tags. I think that's enough, and we have a boom in hand. There's a very slight chance. I guess we can trash this spin doctor as well. Yeah, I think this is fine. So Lord Campaign is going in the bin. This is going to get the mad. We will keep a spin doctor in hand, I think. So here, let's biotic we'll mutually assured everything away. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's enough, isn't it? I don't need to get rid of his turnpike. Okay. They've got a HQ mark, but HQ is quite well protected. You have some options next turn. And I think it looks like we're going to hit him with this hit him with this boom. Assuming no significant shenanigans right now. This fires. Actually, may just let us fire. Oh, sorry. Bad. I forgot. Just there. It's actually like gain credits here. Pretty good. And we hit him with the boom. GG. Okay. Oh, we're playing a light of fire. Very fun. So that's the idea of the deck and showing itself a little better. We didn't need the Ad Blitz this game. The early single hard-hitting news was really good at slowing them down, which was nice. And then they don't have any kind of the few tech cards which work pretty well against us to stop the combo going off. And with IP block on HQ, we're pretty safe here, especially double IP block with the boom in hand. Oh, nicely, we kind of draw into other stuff. I mean, it's a while till we get our next boom, but we can probably start trashing their. We can trash some of their board and things like that with the best defense if we want to. Right, next game. Okay, so we have another game with the Mad Blitz deck. This is version with booms in it. And we're against 419. This isn't a great opening hand, so we're going to mulligan into a much worse opening hand, but at least we have attitude adjustments. Because my word, would this have been bad if we didn't. We will shuffle the Bologna and the Freedom of Information back in. Maybe the other Freedom of Information was actually correct there. We're going to install this tiered subscription. We're not going to pay because we're going to res it anyway, and they haven't got an Amakua down. And then I guess we're putting this turnpike in front of HQ, which doesn't feel brilliant. I would much rather that was an IP block. But at least this is going to fire here. I suspect they probably have a Deuce's Wild in hand or something, so that tag's not going to do too much. Okay, an aggressive start. Right. We see a resistor. I think we're gonna put out a pad campaign. We will not pay. No. And then I think we get this launch campaign behind a resistor. I would much rather the resistor was on centrals, but I think we play what we can right now. Fine. I mean, we'll res the resistor because it is 0. They're going to see a launch campaign. They leave it. I think that probably did look rather like we were trying to sneak out an agenda. Okay, we have an ice, an IP block, which is like one of our best ones. And I will res. Yeah, IP block, probably the main thing we want to draw against 4-9. I'm going to protect HQ a little bit more. This is a bit risky because we're not drawing into much ice. They're going to have all the drip, which is an issue, a bit of an issue. I mean, hopefully these all run out before it gets to our combo turn. Right, let's draw. Lovely, we found an ice. We might, I think we have to choose adjustment here. We'll shuffle back this freedom. We're going to put out a DBS. We will not pay, and we'll put an IP block on R&D. Again, I quite like to protect these DBSs where possible. And we're drawing into quite a lot of ice here, so like we might actually be able to protect a DBS and maybe this gaslight. We'll res a DBS. I don't think we want to. Struggling to draw. At least you have. So we're not going to fire this one yet. We've got a Beal or a Beal, which is awkward. I think we might well try and score one of these out. Well, I mean, what I say one of these, I mean it. Well, I think we're gonna double ice fist, which feels wrong. This feels wrong, but I think it might, like, especially with not much income coming in. At the moment, we have one. We're dripping for one credit turn, which does not feel great. They have lots of money. And a Bagolta, they can't get through this. They can get through this server. Okay, let's see what we draw. Nothing brilliant. We're going to take the gaslight here. We're just going to score out this Beal. Because that's what our deck's given us. We are pretty poor. IP block, yeah. Expected. At least we can dump all our money into the trace here. Which we will do because we haven't got anywhere else we can dump money, which is a shame. But otherwise we lose it all anyway. They probably come in for an access here. No, oh no, they can't. Of course they can't. They could if they paid a whole load. I would assume they take out the pad campaign. They don't take out the pad campaign. Okay. Right. We need an econ card of some kind. That is one. It is the kind of the worst of the ones that we have to a point right now. I'd have liked an econ card that I could put in this server, which would give us econ no matter what. I haven't got that. They have a lot of money. Like, a real lot. Out of everything that I want to put in this server, pad campaign is not it. Can we hit them with the mad here? As in, like, next turn? I don't think we've got the credits. We do not have the credits. Okay. They could be trashing our whole board now. Maybe these tiered subscriptions are kind of doing something. I think with res in this white space, it does cost them free. They still get through. We have another piece of res dice. Unfortunately, they now know what it is. That's fine. They're going to pay 3 credits to get through this resistor. And I assume they're probably going to trash this gaslight. Okay. We'd love like a Marilyn. We draw 2 booms. Not great. Okay. Let's draw 1. Well, at least we've got our like combo now. Well, I think we just put this in the server. We'll put this in a new remote. Now I have to pay for it if I want to keep it. I can potentially keep this one. And now I don't have anything to put in a remote, more importantly. And I guess we put a piece of ice in front of it then. I think this white space. I need to throw out a card. I think it's going to be the best defense. Could be the psychographics actually. I think it's the psychographics because some people have been playing No One Home recently, and that really stomps on us. Okay, they're on boat. Obviously. Do we res this white space? It gives us another mad target. So yeah. If we don't, do we have enough to do market forces play? If they don't trash this gaslight, I think we have exactly enough to do a market forces play. And if so, I kind of want them to have more money. They'll have 4 boat counters, which is an issue because it means that they can get through this twice. So if they trash nothing else, we'll have 9. I mean, what we need is 8. 4 plus 4 market forces. So I don't think we res it. Let you spend a 2. Okay, so this is why. Well, no, this is probably fine, I would imagine. Okay, we want a gaslight now for the market forces. So we look for market forces. The hard hitting news is going to be worthless. So now we go biotic. We go mad. 1, 2, 3. We can get rid of this ice. 4, 5. Do we get rid of the turnpike? No, I think we keep the turnpike. I am worried about like a double doof type turn. So I might keep 1 pad campaign. This will give them 6 tags. They can clear like... Yeah, they can't clear. So I think this is enough. Done. Any actions? I could have given them a couple more and then I could have sunk the boat. And I get to concede. I think they actually have options here. Potentially. So yeah, they're struggling to find breakers, but in all honesty, all of our ice is like you don't need breakers for any of our ice. You just need money, and they had money. So here their lines are: they could run, they could take the free credits off no free lunch, and they can run HQ. They could trash the boom. We are drawing into some freedoms, which would be great. We can probably score both of these out before they have a chance to clear that many tags. Potentially giving them the 2 extra tags was correct, like probably losing this turnpike and maybe the pack campaign, just so that they had the magic number of 8, and we always had the option then of trashing their boat with best defense if they don't clear stuff. Okay, it was a good game. So that is the Mad Blitz deck. If you play this, I hope you have fun. It's a kind of wild ride, but all kind of boils down to one really big, crazy turn. Does suffer to losing to certain bits of tech, so just be aware of that. I don't think it's super competitive or anything along those lines, but it's a fun tier 1.5, tier 2 sort of level. As usual, I have a little sneaky peek of something else for those sticking around till the very end. So this is an alternative option and something which I'm going to be playing around with next using this same idea. Mainly because it turns out that Ad Blitz is 1 influence. And any time where you can abuse a recursion card that is so cheap on influence, then it just makes sense to try and jam it into some other IDs. Ob seems a bit perfect for this. So the idea here is that we get out our advertisements and then we sell them all using our sphegators and extracts to find other advertisements and get those in the bin as well, selling them, getting others, following the little train down from 2 costs to the 1 costs to the 0 costs, which is why we still have tiered subscriptions in here, which actually makes us a lot of money very fast and gets a lot of advertisements into the bin very quickly, and then we can pull them all back out with Ad Blitz, so that we are set up for a mutually assured destruction turn. This one is a little bit different, and it kind of has other issues to deal with that the MVM one doesn't, but there's definitely an interesting kind of idea here, and it's something that I'll be looking into next, so maybe keep an eye out for this one. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you another time.